Oh, peace and blessings to each of you here once again at the noonday hour in the Central Time Zone, of course, at 1 p.m. Hour here on the East Coast. I am privileged once again to be right back here with you, and I'd like to bring greetings to you on behalf of the National President of the National Alumni Association, that being Mr. Jared Redman, as well as the president of the university, Dr. Gerald Briggs. And of course, folks, my name is Reverend Anthony J. Brownlow. Uh, and folks, today we will be entertaining the theme, Just Do It. And the supporting text for this week's theme is Jonah, the first chapter, the first through third verses, of course, very familiar text. I would like to thank for any of us who spent any significant time in faith circles. And so, folks, the text reads as follows. Jonah, the first chapter, verses 1 through 3. Now the word of the Lord, it came to Jonah, the son of Amittai, saying, Arise, go to Nineveh, that great city, and cry out against it, for their wickedness has come up before me. But Jonah arose to flee to Tarshish from the presence of the Lord. He went down to Joppa and found a ship going to Tarshish. So he paid the fare and went down into it to go with them from the presence of the Lord. Just do it. Again, just do it. And the supporting text for today's theme is Jonah, the first chapter, verses 1 through 3. And may the Lord add a blessing to the reader, the hearer, and the doer of God's rich and rewarding word. Just do it. Well, folks, I'm sure if you have a pair of Nikes in your closet or somewhere in your home, this particular theme is not foreign to you. And not only if you don't have any Nikes, but just if you have been watching commercials or watched a Nike commercial, this theme should resonate with you because you've seen it since 1988 is when Nike began to utilize it. But what's interesting about the theme is it is a focal point to not really think about the destination per se, and just doing it is about embracing the journey. And so as we consider Jonah, the first chapter, verses 1 through 3, there's some interesting things that jump out at the outset of it. Number one, Jonah leaves the presence of the Lord, right? That in itself should be a flag. Like, who wants to leave the presence of the Lord? But what also is very interesting is, at the end of the text, or at the end of this particular text, it talks about Jonah getting on the ship and going with them. And then again, it says he went down with them, right, to go with them to Tarshish from the presence of the Lord. So Jonah leaves the presence of the Lord, and it's emphasized again at the close of here in verse 3. But what's interesting is he leaves the presence of the Lord to get on a ship with some people that don't believe. And, that was glaring to me, right? And so, folks, I, have been reflecting on this text and thinking about the theme in parallel or in partnership with it. And it hit me. I used to subscribe to procrastination, right? And if you've ever done like I historically, or that I had done in my, past history, subscribing to procrastination, something that happens in procrastination is you have a task or something to do, and you delay it and you delay it and you delay it until you can't delay it any longer. And you just have to do it, right? Well, emotionally, and I would suggest from an energy perspective, we're delaying the inevitable. The task has to be done, right? And we're actually putting ourselves through, what I like to call mental gymnastics. We're wearing ourselves out because the longer you delay it, it's in the back of your mind and it's taking a toll on you mentally and emotionally, right? Or at least that's what it did for me because it would always be on my mind. So whatever I was doing, I really couldn't enjoy it. And, whatever I, found myself like entertaining, I was always distracted because I knew I needed to get a particular task done, but I was procrastinating and I was delaying it, right? And so, but then that's one part of it. But then the other part is when I wait to the last minute to do it, this anxiety rushes up in me, right? So now I'm doing this to myself. I'm taking myself on a mental roller coaster, all because I'm procrastinating, right? I know I have something to do. I'm not doing it. I am entertaining these other things, but not really enjoying it. But then when I'm forced to finally, have to do this particular task, there's this anxiety because now I'm up against the clock because I have to do it by a certain time. Well, folks, that is the perfect definition of mental gymnastics. That wasn't the devil, that was me. I did that to myself, right? And so, folks, I think what we see in this particular text is Jonah doing some mental gymnastics on himself, right? At the end of the day, a task has to be done. And Jonah chooses to go the long route, right? And he chooses to not enjoy himself. And so, what are some examples of that in the midst of this particular text? Hey, if Jonah simply listens and follows what God requests of him or directs him to do, right? He doesn't have to get on a ship that's in, uncomfortable seas, right? But furthermore, he doesn't have to end up in the whale of a fish. And so if we just stayed right there, that in itself is enough, right? And I don't know what episode you put yourself in. Maybe you're not a procrastinator like me or how I was in the past. Maybe there's some things that you just, instead of just doing it, you found excuses and reasons to delay addressing it. And you put yourself in an emotional roller coaster. I think this text helps us to see there's no benefit in delaying what just needs to be done. And if you go on, and I'm reminding myself in this moment to just do it, right? We can move forward to something else. We can enjoy and embrace whatever particular season that we find ourselves in, as opposed to doing mental gymnastics by procrastinating or delaying. We literally can move on to what lies ahead instead of being arrested with what we're procrastinating about. And so, folks, that's what I want you to do. Just do it. Save that energy for something else as opposed to wrestling with yourself and procrastinating and delaying it. And I think that's what Jonah helps us to see. All Jonah had to do was, instead of running from the presence of the Lord and running to the presence of some non-believers, instead of him taking that route, all Jonah had to do was stay in the presence of the Lord and to do what God had directed Jonah to do. And lo and behold, he wouldn't have had to be in uncomfortable seas. He would not have had to been in the belly of a fish. And this, moment in time would have been short-lived as opposed to extended. And so that being said, folks, just do it as opposed to delaying it. Just do it. Let us still our hearts for a word of prayer. Oh, merciful God, we are thankful for the gifts of this day, for the love offering of life, and Lord, for how you show up each day to greet us with new mercies. Here in the midst of this moment, as October draws to a close, and we reflect back on all the days that have come before, God, we say thank you for how your watchful eye was never taken off of us. We say thank you for how your hedge of protection has rested around us. We say thank you for what's happening in that which we are unaware of. And God, we say thank you for the ability to be sustained even when we procrastinate and delay doing what is required of us. God, we don't want to be like Jonah. We don't want to run from your presence, Lord. We want to be in your presence because we know there's safety in your presence. And so, Lord, as we move towards the close of this prayer, God, we ask that if a friend of the university, if an alum of the university is dealing with a season that they have no answers for, that your presence rests down in and all around them so that their hearts and minds can be nourished in a difficult hour. I don't have a tag to say if it's financial, if it's health. Lord, I don't know, but I am confident that you do. And I'm confident, Lord, as they plead out for a word from you, for the grace that we solicit all the time, Lord, that you won't have a deaf ear to their particular plea. And so, God, we ask, of course, as this month draws to a close, that we walk and prepare to walk into November with spirits of expectations, spirits of recognizing and seeing you go before us and carving a path that is so smooth, that is so welcoming, and that is so rewarding. God, we bless you in this moment, and we lift up these things in your name. Amen. Well, folks, once again, it has been a blessing to be right here with you at the noonday hour. And of course, as we emphasized in our time together previously, prior to praying, to just do it. Leave the procrastination at bay, get rid of the mental gymnastics, and just do it. And don't be like Jonah in the midst of this particular text that we utilize and highlight. Don't take the longer route. Because there are episodes that's going, in essence, direct you back to the path in which you and I both need to be on. And so that being said, as always, keep asking, keep seeking, keep knocking. The God we serve is not in the business of having a deaf ear to your concerns. And no, to just do it and stay in God's presence. We look forward to seeing you right back here, same place, same time next week. Be blessed.